Well, hello there. Nobody's on Zoom right now. I feel so alone. It's okay. I'll just talk to the void. It's me, Vanessa. It's a glorious Sunday night, pretty mild out today by me. And I had a shorter day at work, so I don't know if I have more energy, but at least my brain is maybe a little bit more clear. We'll see. So it is so strange not talking with anybody else around. It's okay. It's okay. We'll be okay. Anyway, so I hope you had a great week. I know things are crazy. Hey Joyce, thanks for joining me. Feeling lonely right now. It was Joyce's birthday this week. That's my sister-in-law. Hi Joyce. It was my mother-in-law's birthday the day before. She turned 80. So that's our little stuff. The week before we unfortunately lost their Aunt Helen to COVID, so nobody's posted about it, but we're gonna figure it out. Hey Joyce. I don't know, so it's strange not marking these events in our lives the same way we normally would, for sure. So I just keep taking a lot of deep breaths, a lot of deep, slow breaths, and every time I catch myself in all rumbled up in craziness, you know, I'm definitely guilty of being a normal human and maybe not being my best version of myself at every breath. So I just keep that mindfulness with me and I try to do better in the next. And that's a lot of what this week felt like, just trying to get things done so that I could have more space to just rest my mind. So that's actually going to be a big focus of mine beginning this week, but more and more I'm going to get into some calming self-care, which I very, very desperately need. And I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. It's also very strange coming home, taking a shower right away, and then putting on makeup for this, so it's really silly. Hey Vin, how you doing? So the first card I'm going to draw tonight, just because I feel pretty drawn to these Earth cards. It's Earth Magic Oracle cards. And I feel like that's what's missing a lot in my life right now, just more time with the Earth. So we're going to do a card and see what happens. Yeah, you guys are on a delay on Facebook, so I don't see your highs right away, but I also really, really love when you say something. I think that was the genie face, I'm not sure. Cool. So let's see. I'll do this one. Fairies. Fairies, that's good. I could use some magic. We'll do fairies. So these cards are cool because I feel like they are very in the moment. And that's definitely what's needed right now. So let's go with fairies. And they spell it this way. Okay. Fairies are nature spirits thought to be descended from the early tribes, particularly the Tuatha De Danann, who's associated with the goddess Dana, who's once ruled Ireland, that inhabited the British Isles. Over time, these ancient people were conquered and displaced. They fled to areas where humans didn't venture, ultimately becoming increasingly, hey Dave, smaller and less visible in order to better hide themselves. Ooh, this is like a big thing. Fairies have assumed responsibility for the plants and trees, or standing ones. They work with earth magic to take care of these beings, and if you ask, they'll help you with your garden or your yard. They also have the power of enchantment and shape-shifting. Fairies appreciate it when we show them through our actions that we love the earth as much as they do, and consequently they bestow a little of their earth magic on us. I love that. That's so sweet. So, okay, I'm going to read the rest of this actually because it's interesting. You have the same power available to you as fairies do. It starts with loving the earth through your heartfelt gratitude and appreciation, but more important, through your actions. The fairies can help you reconnect in a more intimate way with the earth, and all they require is your willingness to pay attention to the trees and plant life around you and demonstrate your care. Whether you live in a small space or have an expansive land, make it a point to be especially attentive to your surrounding vegetation. Plant something, get your hands in the dirt, and do so with love and enthusiasm. Every flower, tree, or shrub you are tending to is a living being, so treat each like you would a dear friend. Ask the fairies to help you take care of these friends, and you will be rewarded many times over. That's so sweet. So it's like, even if you don't believe in fairies, this is a good card because you know, especially in the cold weather. You did all that today, Joyce. Well, it's easier for you because you're in the warm weather, but I really appreciate that you do that. Hey, Amanda. So for, you know, for us on the east with the coldness, it's hard to plant things, right? And it's hard to be outside doing the dirt stuff. But even doing little things like planting herbs inside, we planted some chia seeds for the kids, and those sprout so fast. It's really fun to watch. But I do also think that there's a lot of magic in reconnecting with the earth during the winter time, during the cold months. And while it may not be planting, it might be more of hiking, but also just even like wood kindling, just doing things outside with your hands. When I finish treating, I don't get a lot of time for outside, but our parking lot in the back is really cool, and there's a lot of trees, and there's a big open space to see the sky. And I always take note of what it looks like when I'm done treating, because after doing that much energy work and body work, you know, there's a culmination, even though I discharge after each, that brings me to a place of, I can't describe it, but I need to have a major discharge, and I need to have that mindfulness about me. So when I look at the big sky and look at the trees in the background, even if it's just for a few moments, there's something magical that happens. And I'm always so grateful for that space outside, because I really walk right down from the stairs into it. I should take a picture of it. And when the sky is clear, because there's really not a lot of light pollution there, I can see so many things, and I can hear things over there, even though there's traffic in the front of the building. The back is just so sacred. So I was enjoying that a little bit tonight, but it's a little cloudy, but just that feeling of taking a deep, deep breath outside, and especially in the cold, because it can be more of a challenge to contact that, you know, comfortable feeling with it. So it's almost makes you more aware, because it might be tougher to take a cold breath. And but it's okay. So Dave's saying he likes to hike out east. Oh, Arizona. Well, that would be great. He hiked to the vortex. Yeah, I have stories about the vortex from my sister too. That's cool. So just those moments, and really mark them throughout your day. So today, again, it's so strange not having anybody on Zoom. If you want to hop on Zoom, save me. I feel so lonely. Not lonely because I have you guys, but I mean, I can't talk to you. So today I want to talk about water and the power of water and how we can use that to our benefit. Just the beginning of it. So water, you know, obviously we have so much in our body, right? We're at least 60% and usually upward of that percent of water. It's usually around 70%. Honestly, if you're perfectly hydrated, it's even more. So, and each organ has its own amount of water that it holds, and even your bones have water in them. So it's obviously very, very important, hello Jessie, to be hydrated. But I don't think people realize how much. And I have to say, like, now that I have Invisalign and I'm wearing a mask all day at work, I have a much harder time hydrating, because I can't just quickly like do everything. But so it just makes me more conscious of it, really. So I have to actually take, you know, conscientious water breaks where I'm like, okay, how much did I just drink? And as the pain as that may be, it's okay, because I'd rather be conscious of it. It's good to be mindful of those things. But if you don't know about the water, here's the deal. Let me just get into this part. Okay. This is a big one. Clients don't understand this. Water actually helps regulate your body temperature. So it makes sense if you think about it, right? Via sweat, perspiration, you know, all that stuff, it's regulating. So while we don't want to smell or we're worried about these things, if we're not hydrated, we're having actually problems with our organs, and our hormones can go out of whack really quickly. And if now, especially since we're in the drier time by us, there's prone to sinus infections and other things that lead to colds and, you know, a lowered immune system, which obviously right now is like our main enemy. We don't want that. So focusing on hydration is a bigger task than most will think. I hear people say all the time, I hate drinking water. It's so strange to me. I'm like, really? You hate water? That takes a lot of energy to hate water. But I guess it's the taste. I guess they're looking for something else, and they're probably lacking another mineral, which is why water doesn't taste so great to them. Who knows? Maybe they need more alkaline water. Hey, Ken. Oh, this is exciting. I have some new people on here tonight. That's great. Ken is my long friend that I've never met from, my gosh, like 20 years ago on AOL. I think. When did it start, Ken? Was it Friendster? Was it MySpace? I don't know. Wendy, you're here too. Coconut water. Awesome. Yeah, and Joyce is saying you can always add lemon or mint to it. Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, it's so important to have it, and it's so important to not have it all at once. So you'll see a lot of times people will be like, oh, I got my 64 ounces or whatever it is, but they're drinking like gallons at a time. You know, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Those people that just kind of chug. You have to have it throughout the day. Dave's saying he's constantly drinking water. Good, that's great. So it moistens your tissues, your nose, your eyes, and your mouth, right? Like right now I'm totally dry. It's all the time with the Invisalign. I can't control it. But eyes and mouth, and like that's part of where we're, you know, we know, like don't put things in your mouth. Okay, kids are always putting their fingers in their nose, maybe some adults too. And the eyes are a big thing. So touching, and it's fine. If you have dry eyes, you may not think it's a big deal, but the truth that those membranes have to be hydrated as well. That will affect your vision, and it also affects your immune response and your immune system too. So like that's why we're having the face shields around the plastic, because it makes you more prone to getting stuff in your eyes. We do get, you can get a virus through the eyes as well. You balance water with one monster, one monster gallon. That's really funny. Protects body organs and tissues. Like I said, you know, we are just carriers of water. It's pretty amazing. And if your body organs and your tissues aren't hydrated, well, number one, you're going to see it in your skin. You'll feel it. Like I can see it all the time, especially around the soft tissues in the eyes. They're so thin. And come on, you're cracking me up. And that's like the biggest thing. We're so worried about all these skincare products, but we're forgetting that water, we need more water. And that also means, not to go on off a crazy tangent, but if you're having caffeinated drinks and things like that, well, obviously you're going to be peeing that out, and you need to compensate with more water. So if you're the person that wakes up in the morning and has coffee, at least have water with it. Makes sense, right? Because the diuretic is not gonna, it doesn't count as a fluid. Sorry, guys. And then you want to make sure that your water isn't, you know, laden with sugars and colors and all that stuff. I don't like to count those as well, although if you're desperate, of course, that's going to work. Okay, lubricates the joints. This is a big thing. Excuse me. You're going to see this a lot with seniors and people that, you know, don't drink a lot of fluids, or they're drinking Diet Coke and they think that counts. It doesn't count. Your joints, they need lubrication, just like your car needs oil and your car needs all these other things, right? There's water in coffee though. Yes, Ken, there is water in coffee. However, the diuretic makes you pee it out, so you're losing that water. Nice try. And also the type of coffee that you're having, the amount of acid that's in it, will affect, and the quality of it. So you might actually get mold in your regular coffee. Not such a great thing. Yucky, yucky. The other thing it does, helps dissolve minerals and nutrients to make them accessible to your body. Well, water's a carrier, right? Makes sense. Okay. And this is part of why proper hydration is could help you lose weight. The extra water can also replace that feeling of hunger. I see it in myself and in my children all the time. I'm like, did you drink enough? Because now you're just downing food. So mindfulness about that. Now this are just the physical benefits and the physical results of drinking or not drinking water, right? But the other stuff is energetic. And that's what we're really going to talk about for the next few minutes. Your body, because it's made up of so much water, is affected by everything that's around you, everything that you say. If you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me. But there is a wonderful man who did all these studies on how water is affected, and his name is Masaru Emoto. I can post that later, but there's videos on it, there's books, and maybe you think it's pseudoscience or it's not real or whatever, but I've done these experiments on myself, and even if it's the placebo effect, I don't care. I'm going to choose to believe it. So the deal is that because water carries vibration and words carry vibration, right? That if you speak kind words, the water crystalline created this beautiful, beautiful crystal, and it's so pretty. And with negative words surrounding it, I'm like really giving you the quick end of this. With evil or negative words surrounding it, it made ugly, distorted, discoloration crystalline structures. I will post more on this, but I just want you to get the idea that obviously we know your words have power, and we also know, hey Liz, that water is a translator, water is a carrier, and because of that, we want to use that power to our benefit, right? If you've ever noticed that taking a bath or a shower, for some people is not a big deal. I love the enthusiasm. Hi! I know a lot of people that don't take one daily, and I'm definitely not saying go waste water and take an hour shower. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think that it's very important for you to note and be an observer of how you feel before and after a shower or a bath. This is another practice of mindfulness. Very, very important. I know some people that do not wash their hair. They're worried of stripping the oils from their hair. They might wait days, a week. I know people that go longer. It's fine. I'm not judging you. But what I'm going to invite you to do is bring awareness to it. For me, if I don't wash my body at the end of the day, and like maybe you have your time to do it, I can feel, and like, yes, I'm an empath, but you are also. Vin's like, ew, don't judge, Vin. There's so many people that, believe me, they're not showering as much as you think. If I don't do that, I really don't feel good. I can deal with it. I can conscientiously like break myself of thinking, this is gross. And I'm not talking about a lazy day. I'm just talking about like, you gotta go, you know, I'm reading everything. You have to go and think about these things. After a shower, I feel rejuvenated. I feel cleaner. And I also can tell that my chakras are like more sparkly because I just feel better. And then I really feel like I'm in that moment of self-care. Like this is the time to do heavy duty self-care, which is probably like a big reason why I like to do it at the end of the day. Oh, believe me, if I could do it at the beginning of the day too, I would just shower 3 times a day because it feels so good to me. But at the end of the day, I'm really thinking about relieving my body, my energy of all this extra, and it's the same visual that I have after I treat other people. So basically, after I treat, you know, I always tell people I at least, and when I teach energy work, I tell them to wash from the elbows down at least, because there's a visual I usually give them as well. Like when you're working with somebody, you're basically helping take care of their energy, and you're taking it on in a sense. Excuse me. So it's like wearing their sweater or their sweatshirt or something like that. And then afterwards, I want to give it back to them. So I take it off, but I'm not giving it back to them dirty. I've already cleaned it. I've defuzzed it. It's all nice and pretty. And now I'm giving them this article back. So that's the first part of like relieving a energetic connection in that sense. And I give them their energy back. But the secondary part is that I discharge. And discharging starts literally with the washing. You know, there's a reason that this stuff is talked about in the Bible and so many other studies, because it's the washing. We're washing away all this stuff. So I wash from the elbow down, and I also have this visual of releasing anything excess. And it starts to sometimes look yucky if I've had a really intense session and I see it going down the drain. And then I give them a little extra love. So I don't want the energy just to be disposed of. I actually envision it being transmuted back into light and love. So I'll watch it go down the drain. I'll see the earth actually absorb it, because the earth is the best neutralizer. And she takes it, and sometimes I'll see like a woman doing it. She takes it and she blows some love back into it, and she puts it back into the atmosphere. So very different thing. Does a dry brush do the same thing? No, I'm reading all your comments, guys. Thanks so much for commenting. Dry brushing is more for invigorating the circulatory system, like that's a big thing. So it's really good, but for something different. Maybe we'll talk about that another night. And then I hear a lot of people don't want to take baths. They're not bath people. I didn't know this was the thing. So that really cracks me up. We're like, I don't like baths. And I'm like, how could you not like a bath? I can understand somebody who's tall not liking a bath. Usually guys don't really love them. But I try to invite them to just try it, because taking an Epsom salt bath, especially like 2 times a week at least, will help your tissues. It helps you detox. It just gets everything extra out, and then it also has some magnesium in it. So just like, I think it was Joyce before, or maybe it was Mary, I missed, saying that it will help you sleep. I think it was Joyce. Help you relax. Yeah, it does a lot of that because of its transmutation properties. It's able to do that really, really quickly. So sitting in a bath, and like, I guess some people are worried about sitting in their own muck or something, well, shower off first, and then sit in a nice clean bath. And if you put the salts in and stuff like that, like you let them dissolve, you start to just focus on what it would feel like if this was the Dead Sea, what it would feel like if this was you floating, if you had more space. It doesn't matter. Your imagination and your intentions are so, so strong that even if you don't fit in your bathtub, I can guarantee if you give yourself a few really deep, deep breaths, you'll get there. You'll get somewhere. And you'll get somewhere other than just in a cramped bath. So this water property, and we have this cleansing going on. And then if you add the Epsom salts, then you have this detox value going into it. Which, by the way, even if you have the cleanest diet, hey Stephanie, you're going to need to detox. And a lot of times in our daily lives, we actually need this more than you think, because it's not just the food that you're eating, it's everything that you're technically eating. It's your social media, it's your interactions throughout the day. It's, everybody's advice or you giving advice, and there's stuff that you're taking on. So these are detoxes that need to happen on a daily basis. And if you're not doing that constantly, you'll have this wave of so many things happening. There could be medical issues, but there also could be mental issues that will just start to creep up. Suddenly you're finding yourself easily overwhelmed, angered, things like that. And that's another day that we could do like even more on that. But tonight's with the water. So I just want to get back to that again. Why is going to the beach so calming for some people, right? What do you feel like when you go to the beach? What do you like about it? Me, I don't really, this is funny, I shouldn't say I don't like the beach. I don't like crowds. I don't like hot sand. I have certain things that I don't like. What I love about the beach is the sound. I love the sound. I love the feeling of compacted wet sand into soft powdery sand. I can focus on little bits and pieces that I love, and then suddenly I have this experience that is really cleansing and really empowering. And water does the same thing, no matter what the movement is. So if you have rushing of water, like at the beach, the recede will calm you. If you're in a still lake or pond, you'll feel the flotation. You'll actually feel it, right? You'll get the surface tension barely breaking underneath your fingers. I always try to focus on that sensing of that. And then it has that natural connection to the earth, because the earth is made up of so much water. So you don't have to try as hard when we use these elements. And you have to remember that even if you're getting the element from within your home, and we're so fortunate to have that, right, in our pipes, warm water, cold water, if you're getting it within your home, it's still an element, right? When we cook, most of us use gas or whatever, it's still making fire for us. We're still using elements. And when we think of life in elemental theories, this is what stokes our internal fires. So water, cleansing, purification, if you have dreams about water and things like that, it's also about movement, transmutation. These are really, really big things. So we're almost time into our meditation. Okay. So as we're winding down into that, you're going to start to shut off your lights or just dim everything. And I'll take a few deep breaths for you. And I would also like to share that before I signed on with you guys, I had drawn a card from the Earth Magic deck that was a whale breaching. And the whale breaching is basically this huge thing, right? Huge animal, and it's deciding to purposely come out of its own element and take its arch into another space. So part of that is like, you know, I think in every week we talk a little bit about this. Where in your life are you feeling like you're stuck or you're getting stale in your own elements, right? And because of COVID, so many of us have been forced to kind of try to adapt in new ways. And I think everybody has had some success in adapting. But there's also time to purposely adapt and like be excited about it. So this huge, enormous whale breaching coming out of its own elements is very symbolic of you making the decision to, you know what, I'm comfortable here, but I would like to come out. So you can do that in many days, many places in your life, or you can do it in huge, huge ways. But maybe for part of this week is going to be, you know, focusing on clarifying and purifying with water, internally hydrating, externally seeking water sources and things like that. But also, where are you too comfortable that it's creating like some stagnation, and where can you kind of come out of that comfort zone, right? And start to be excited about stuff again. Sometimes it's been a long time and you don't even realize it. So that's what we're going to work on this week. Okay. So hopefully you're relaxed in whatever position you are in. I do recommend that you lie down if you can. If you think you're going to fall asleep, you can sit up. But I believe that you can stay present in both. And if you fall asleep, no big whoop. So here we go. I'm going to rewind my sound. You might notice that every week I use the same soundtrack because it's something we made for the 7 chakras, my husband and I. And now whenever people hear it in my meditations, they automatically get into the meditation mode, just some conditioning. So one of my clients asked today, what's the difference between taking a chest breath, like a breath up here, versus a belly breath? And the biggest difference is you're just not getting a complete breath. You're kind of getting a superficial, just enough breath. If you can drop down into the belly, with little kids I'll say you can put one of your loveys there. For adults, if you don't have a lovey or a stuffy nearby, you just put your hands right by your navel or your belly button. And just begin to bear witness to the rise and the fall of your belly. And especially during meditation, we sink down into it. We use that word so that you can contact the softness. There's softness in a meditation that isn't always present in your whole day. And this is the time to find that. So as the breath slows down naturally, notice how the body quickly responds. You might become very aware of your heart. And you'll see as the mind tries to shut down, it's got a lot to say. It's okay. So tonight you're going to find yourself on very soft ground, very soft, little grass poking through, and you're definitely barefoot. Don't worry, it's warmer out. It's like a nice 75. And I want you to put yourself in the most comfortable clothes that you can find. I feel like this is a linen weather where you're wearing a soft linen and just feeling a slight wind against your skin. So you're going to start focusing on the ground. And as you walk barefoot, you're walking from this, hard ground with some grass poking through, and soon you're going to take steps and it becomes warmer, and now you're on very soft, soft white sand. And there's actually a lot of people around. And on this beach, there's a lot of people, but it's not like they're playing or something like that. They're all just hanging out on their own blankets, kind of doing their own thing. And then something magical is going to happen here where they all just come into a stillness. And you realize that they're being led in a meditation. And you'll take note of each blanket, each person, kind of just watching, very interested in how that energy just changed. And you'll very carefully walk closer to the water. And now you're noticing your body. And this is your real body, not just a meditation. You're noticing maybe some heaviness that you've been carrying around, noticing your shoulders being tense in your neck, maybe your jaw. All these very, very common areas that are holding for us, just waiting for relaxation to happen. Noticing how the hips and the legs maybe are not as comfortable as you'd like them to be. We don't block out pain or things that are uncomfortable. It's time to address them and to give your body that permission to really, really just be. Tell your body, I will take care of you. And forgive yourself maybe for not always taking care of your body. So as you come to the edge of this water, everything's kind of turned down a little bit since everyone's meditating around you. So what I mean by that is that the volume, the sound of the water crashing, the sound of waves breaking, it's absolutely present, but it's muted a bit. It's calmer. The feeling, the sensation of it is not so chaotic. There's a beautiful rhythm that's happening, and you're very present to it. So you're going to allow your body, your real person, to experience the heaviness that can happen in our lives, to experience the feelings of discomfort. Anything that's we would read as painful or stressful or just solidly uncomfortable. we're going to experience it just for a few breaths. So don't worry, we have an out coming soon. But I want you to be there. I want you to feel your heart maybe racing or beating hard. I want you to feel any aches and pains. I want you to acknowledge that stiffness and that worry. And then just as the others began to meditate, you're going to step into the water. And as you step into the water, you'll notice the first sensation. It's usually a little bit of a shock to the system, maybe on the chillier side. And you'll come up to your mid-calves now, already noticing how you've so quickly adapted and adjusted. You'll feel that power of the water coming in and receding. And maybe you'll start to notice that all of those experiences and the things that were heavy on you are not really in the forefront anymore. It might take some time, but you'll just notice. Notice how the fresh air with that water just opens the lungs. And in your mind's eye, you'll see yourself bringing your hands to your heart. And you'll see yourself taking a nice deep inhale, big yawny exhale, opening nice and wide. Just feeling how the ocean's breath comes inside. And then slowly that pattern, that very predictable yet somewhat chaotic ocean coming in and out, splashing against your legs, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. And the ones that catch you off guard are just as important as the ones that just gently kiss your legs. And then very slowly you're going to go venture deeper into the water. And I want you to take note of the horizon. I want you to watch the gentle waves that are building up into the bigger waves. Not only have you adapted and welcomed the water, the temperature of the water, it's now adjusted to you as well. So you're becoming close friends with this element right here. And you're going to feel that push and pull. And at first it's forceful, and then suddenly you're very akin to it. And your whole body, because it's just like full of the same amount of water, will have the same push and pull internally. And you'll allow it to happen. And very slowly you're going to go into the ocean. And you'll make it past the break in the waves. And you'll actually notice that this water is very clear, bluer than you first thought, warmer than you anticipated, and very welcoming. And now you'll fully allow yourself to be floating. You'll allow your body to just barely break that surface tension. And though we've been to this place before, Something is different here tonight with the focus on allowing things to transmute. You'll begin now to notice how you can start to control the water internally. So as you lie floating above this ocean, maybe it's time to invite the inside to the outside and the outside to the inside. So I'll explain. And remembering that it's meditation and we can control things differently than our typical world. Just open yourself up to this possibility. You are completely safe. In the next few breaths, you'll focus on bringing the water internally. Understanding, again, a suspension of belief that you are completely safe. You're allowing the mind to take this water as if you were drinking purified water and let it go down the midline of the body. Imagine yourself swallowing it. Clear blue. With a thirst that you've never experienced before. This is the thirstiest you've ever been. And you're allowing each part of the body to be fully hydrated. And as it comes out, will come out through your fingertips, your toes. You won't even notice it in the water. It just starts to change things around you. As your body becomes one with this ocean, and she transmutes it back into everything that's good. There will be no more floating. You will just be. And now you can sense things that before weren't available to you. It's like you can hear the animals in the water. As if you can hear the dolphins underwater. You can feel their movement. You can feel all the life that's under that surface. And now notice what it's like to have all that going on internally. The calmness that can happen just from feeling connected. Understanding that water does this, understanding the power of it, the movement. And then when it's still, how amazingly peaceful it is. You see, people make the mistake of seeking peace. And it's forgotten that when you connect to yourself and to the earth, the peace resides there. It's already present. So the next part of the meditation, I want you to actually start to slowly swim. You're going to swim underwater. And here you are the best swimmer around. You're able to do it just like any other creature in the ocean. You're not really holding your breath, you're breathing with it. And notice what it feels like to be able to go faster through this awesome body of water. Feeling some of it rushing by and yet feeling also very still and content. And you'll be very active for the next few breaths. Maybe taking a swim with a dolphin. And allow yourself to have that full sensation under the water. And then when that feels complete, you'll come back to stillness, and this time definitely not alone, surrounded more by other animals and maybe even some people with you. But everybody's very quiet. If you've ever been fortunate enough to be around others meditating, and when people get into this very amazing place, there's a stillness that happens, like no expectation of sound, no judgment of actions. It's just a place of being. And that's what you're coming to now in the water. You've released all this excess. You've given back what's not yours. And you've received the movement and the love from the water. And now the waters will stop, only for a moment, to allow you to leave. They'll pause their movements, and you'll walk out very light, very calm, noticing only how the water released everything, and that your breath has become one with that motion. And as soon as you last leave your footprint in that sand, the water begins its movement again, seemingly softer than before. And it allows you a moment to reflect fully on your experience. So you'll face the water again, face the ocean, noticing the horizon once more, noticing the sensation of all those people meditating around you. That stillness and yet that big growth of energy. And then as you come back into your body now, one more time imagining clear, light blue water coming through the whole body, as if you're just drinking the best water in the whole world. And as it goes through, it purely hydrates and releases anything one more time, all the way down. And then you'll watch it go into a puddle around the feet. And the earth soaks it back up just to be transmuted one more time. Wonderful. So, water being so powerful, I also want you to notice how you can work with it, not to control it, but to enjoy it more. So, if you're feeling those currents going against you, you're feeling that type of struggle, this is the time to see water going through your body, allowing it to be swallowed down, allowing it to go down, down, down. The reason we go down first is because we want to see everything going down to the earth, and that's part of grounding. And then the earth always willingly accepts. She's really good at transmuting. And then you want to actually focus on that drinking part, the real hydration, enjoying it. Notice how you can use that as a meditation as well. Just cultivating that mindfulness in the body. So this week I am going to post homework about all these things that we spoke about tonight. And just remembering that meditation is not a destination, and it doesn't mean you're doing it right or wrong if you didn't get to a deep place or you got to too deep of a place or whatever it is. It's just to cultivate the mindfulness, allowing the body to kind of find a safe place. And then you bring it throughout the day, that when you're in hyper mode as soon as you possibly can. You're going to bring it back to a calmer place where you really feel safe and loved and all these wonderful things that we're working for. But it's always there. Those things are always there. And this is just a reminder that you can access it much quicker when you're meditating on a daily basis. So meditation, don't forget, it can be just a couple of minutes at a time. But the more you do it, the easier it gets to access it. So if you have any questions, this would be the time to start typing again. If you're too sleepy to do that, you can always do it on my page. If you want to be more private, you can message me or text me, whatever. And just look out for the homework, because the homework is really important. It kind of solidifies everything that we discuss every week and brings you into a more understanding place for it. And you want to build on all these things, right? Yeah. So thanks. It doesn't seem like I have my community on Zoom. But if anybody wants to sit and just feedback for me, tell me how you were feeling.
I'm here.
Whoa, Billy, you just scared the bejesus out of me.
Sorry.
That was so loud. And just tell me how you're feeling, or ask a question. I'm right here. I'll stay on for a few minutes. I had no Zooms peeps until you came in.
All one of us.
That was so strange. Were you able to get into the meditation, or you came in late?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh, cool.
I felt like I was floating. Awesome.
That's cool.
I didn't want to open my eyes again. I wanted to just go to sleep for the night.
Yeah, well, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to wake up to talk. if you ever feel like...
No, I'm not ready.
Okay.
I'm not ready. Go to...
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about elements more. Good. I'm really glad you enjoyed that. That's great. So I actually started that one because...
I start my job tomorrow.
You do? You start your
my
job?
job tomorrow, and I wanted to end the night with a good meditation. That's exactly what I got.
Well, I feel very honored to be part of your night prep.
Yeah. No, this was perfect.
So people on Facebook, if you're still around, like I said, if you have any questions, I don't know if I'm going to see them or not. Let's see. Okay. If not, that's cool. I'm just going to sign off. But like I said, you can catch me on here, and don't forget to share with other people, okay? Look out for the homework, guys. Talk to you soon. Namaste.